guys, like, where do I start? Check out this outfit. It's such a throwback to 2016 me. Let me know in a comment if you've been around these parts since then. I've been inspired to film this video today by my outfit choice because I definitely feel a bit more like old me today, and this video subject is the kind of thing old me would have filmed. So I'm doing that. I used to spend a fair bit of time talking about periods, did I not? I made a mini series of videos called PMS Party. I'll link them in the description box. But yeah, so I was pregnant, no periods. Then I started breastfeeding and I'm still breastfeeding, and I still have not had a period, and I had no idea how big of a change this would be. Like, I had no idea of the impact of those monthly hormonal fluctuations on my life, like on my experience of life. And yeah, a while back on Instagram I got loads of questions from you about the fact that I haven't had a period in so long, and I'm going to use those to guide this chat. I have them written over here, so if you see me looking, that's what I'm doing. Someone said, doesn't Lochia count? No. So Lochia is not a period. Lochia, if you don't know already, is basically a sign that your body is still recovering from birth. So say this is your uterus, and your uterus is like shedding the lining that supported your pregnancy, so it's like squeezing all that out. And yeah, after you have a baby for quite a while, you will have blood and pieces, and then a kind of like pinky stuff, and just glorious magical goodness that helped you to give birth to a human being. All of that stuff's coming out your vagina, and you have to wear pads and whatnot for quite a while, and you're on the lookout for clots and stuff. It's a time. It's not the most glamorous time, but it is a time where you get to say goodbye to being pregnant, so it's kind of great in that way. And you've got a cute little baby to keep you distracted from what's going on in your knickers. A lot of people said their periods were never the same after finishing breastfeeding, and this is an interesting one. If you've experienced this, please do comment it down below. But I've been thinking about this, and I genuinely think I would be happy to be either pregnant or breastfeeding for the next like 10 years. Like I really feel very happy and comfortable in motherhood, and I'm just like, build the family, like they're the vibes. Of course I am nervous and stuff like that, but I do kind of see that being the path that I take. And if I do that, when I'll be finished like birthing and breastfeeding and stuff, I'll be kind of then coming into the years where perimenopause can occur, and perimenopause is like the transition period into menopause, which is the end of the reproductive years. And yeah, like that would kind of make sense then that my periods would never be the same if that happens, because perimenopause can start in the 40s, but it can also start in your 30s. It's something that occurs over a few years. It's not like an overnight thing and then you're in the menopause. You know, there's a few years where your body slowly starts producing less estrogen. There is the potential that I may never experience like the period life as I did before. But obviously perimenopause and menopause comes with all of its own symptoms and issues, and then, you know, pregnancy itself has its own unique set of issues. It's the period of time breastfeeding I've found to be the most just chill and relaxing. This leads me to, people were asking, do I miss my period? Am I nervous that it'll be really heavy at the start? I do not miss it, and of course I'm terrified of the first period back, because my experience of periods was so bad. I always had just rubbish periods. When I worked in retail, I would want to take time off. When I was in school, I wouldn't go into school. Like, I just would be in a ball with period cramps so severe. Like, I found labour fine, I think, because of my experience with period cramps. And I actually wonder, is that the body's way of like warming us up to the big event, if said event should occur for you, if that's what you choose? So yeah, there's a fear of it actually coming back, but then there is also a fear of it not coming back, because, you know, period and ovulation kind of need to be a thing for me to have another baby. Someone asked, this is a really interesting one, do you feel less woman without your periods? And I had to think about this for a while, because it's not something I've ever really thought about before, but I don't feel any less woman. My periods certainly are not what defined womanhood for me. It's a biological function, but it's just not something that I think of as a woman thing, because there's so much variety in experience of periods. Like when I talk to my friends, like female friends, none of us experience it in the same way. Like different cycle length, different symptoms, different intensity of symptoms. I've had multiple friends who have been on contraceptive pills, which meant that they didn't even have a period. There's just so much discourse online about sex versus gender and all of this kind of stuff. And yeah, at the end of the day, like, I'm not going to just stop having my period in the menopause and suddenly not feel like a woman anymore. Lots of women have operations on that area of their body and have stuff removed, and like that doesn't make them not a woman anymore. Complicated subject, that, for sure, but no. I feel like a woman. What are the hormonal changes like to your mood? Do you feel emotionally different without period hormones? Guys, like, where do I start? Just say it. Like, I was definitely a little bit of a head case before. For a full week, every month, I was mad. Mad as a bag of elbows. Batshit mad. The tiniest things used to set me off. Sobbing. You know, everyone's gonna leave me. I'm hideous. I'm unattractive. I'm worthless. It's had a huge impact on my anxiety levels. It's had a huge impact on my relationships with everybody. Like, I just don't fight. Like, I'm so stable now. You know, me and Thomas just have this joke, my husband, like, about my period coming back or my period being gone, and you know, he thinks it's a great thing, because it really is. Like, it should be said that before I got pregnant, I did a bit of therapy related to some of these behaviours, like going quiet when there's something up rather than just saying what's wrong and communicating and solving it on the spot. I did that a little while before I got pregnant and stuff, but I've learned that wasn't all a case of me just like not being able to communicate perfectly all the time. Like, so much of it really genuinely was hormonal, because I've not had, you know, the up and the down and the up and the down, and you know, if you have a cycle, you know what it can be like. This is you, and then suddenly it's like, oh, who's this isn't me. And that's what my life was always like since I was 11 when I got my first period. And in the absence of that for the past couple of years, I've seen that it was largely responsible for some of my worst experiences in my life, because I can now pinpoint what the hormonal, sad Melanie who'd pull away and cry all the time, like I can pinpoint the times where that was what was going on, because there's a specific feeling that was associated with it. It was just like this huge, like the poles shifting, like it was this all-consuming change that would happen, as if like I'd been injected with difficult bitch juice. It's so mad, guys, like that our hormones can dictate our lives in such a way, and it's something that we spend little to no time talking about during our school years in schools. It's something my doctor was never able to help me with. You know, I was prescribed multiple different contraceptive pills, almost all of which made the problems worse for me anyway. I know people who it's been the opposite, but that's definitely not like a universal truth that you go on this pill and then it's sorted, because everyone has a different hormonal balance to begin with, so you're looking for like the one that fits with your own body. I've been really interested in some things that like friends of mine have mentioned about, you know, perfume can apparently affect your hormones. All these things in our environment and stuff like that can have an impact on hormones. And I just feel like as women, I feel like we are very much let down by the field of like science and medicine and stuff. There's so little there for us to help with all that, and yeah, it can be make or break for certain people. And it's one of the reasons why I feel like I've enjoyed motherhood so much in spite of all of the emotions it brings on, because like when I do have like a down day now, I still have like those kinds of days. Like I'm not run by those feelings and emotions. Like I can see them. It's like they're on a conveyor belt. I can see them and observe them, but they aren't me and they're not controlling me. It's so different. Like now if I have a bad day or I'm sad about something or I'm emotional about something or whatever, I just feel so much more in control of my body, my words, my reactions, like, than when it was my cycle and my hormones kind of wearing me like I was a sock puppet. It's just huge. Anyone else experienced this? Like, it's not something I ever even expected or thought about. Like, I didn't give a second to this when I was pregnant. Like, I was always like, what will be in my hospital bag? Pregnancy definitely involved like a bit of a like adjustment to this though. So that's why I'm kind of anticipating when I stop breastfeeding that there'll be another like weird adjustment phase where it's like, ugh. People ask, do I still get PMS before the usual period time? No, none. Phantom period symptoms, again, no, none. People were asking like, do I get, bloatedness, cramps, moodiness, spots, sore boobs? Like, just none of that. It's just like just like we're chilling like this all the time instead of the constant, and it's so nice. It's so nice. I want to stay like this, please. This is a really interesting one. So someone said, how have you been having safe, non-baby making sex without a regular cycle? I know you used the app Natural Cycles before. Are you using any kind of birth control? Are you trusting that you can't get pregnant now or taking other precautions? What this person I think is referring to is the lactational amenorrhea method. LAM. Lactational meaning breastfeeding, and amenorrhea, sorry if I'm saying that wrong, refers to not having your period. Myself and Thomas, I'm just speaking for myself, so obviously we do want more children. We're not like actively like trying or anything like that right now. We're trying to not get pregnant right now, and so I can't use the Natural Cycles app until my period comes back, so that's just like my extra layer of protection that I used to use gone. But we are very comfortable using the pull-out method because I currently have no period. Not recommending that. I'm speaking from great. We have some lovely roadworks outside. Guys, moving house soon. We got a house. I'm not going to make a whole video about that until it's like happening, but it should be relatively soon. Won't have to deal with this anymore. But according to Planned Parenthood, breastfeeding can be used as a form of birth control, but only if it's done in a certain way. If you're breastfeeding every 4 to 6 hours, it can stop your body ovulating. This is not a perfect system. About 2 out of every 100 people who use breastfeeding as their sole birth control will get pregnant within the first 6 months after giving birth. That's typically when people use this as birth control, but that is similar to other forms of birth control. I'm so sorry. Why do you have to break the road now? A lot of people were asking how I'm coping with the thought that conceiving might be difficult. Someone asked, am I planning on stopping breastfeeding to get my cycle back in order to get pregnant? Plans for baby number 2. I'm worried about my fertility. All this kind of stuff. And so like, yeah, I'm thinking about that a lot at the moment because so it's now, what is it, November, December, January, February, March. So in March, we are having our re-wedding. So the wedding that we cancelled at the beginning of the pandemic, all the big lovely plans, like it's all still in place. And we were going to, renew the vows and just have our reception, have a big party to kind of celebrate like we've been married since March 2020. But we were going to do that, and then we were going to have like the wedding night, and we were going to from then start trying for baby number 2. But I know that, even if you stop breastfeeding, like it can take a while for your period to come back. And the thing is, like my son is a boob monster. He is one of those baby toddlers that absolutely loves breastfeeding. He's so healthy and he's so happy, and it soothes him when he's teething. It's there for comfort, it's there for closeness, it's there for there's the bit of nutrition, but it's not just that. It's like antibodies, it's so many things. There's so many benefits to breastfeeding, and the World Health Organization recommends that you do it for the first 2 years of a child's life. And I never intended to do it that long because I was just like, who's got time for that? World Health Organization. But it's very easy. I've adapted to it a lot. Like, I did make a video at 6 months into my breastfeeding journey about everything from, you know, being in the hospital and pumping like mad and giving myself oversupply, all the clogs and all the different, you know, adjustment phases. But like, after I think about 8 months in, it just became so simple, and we've such a lovely routine now, and we get so much sleep because at nighttime we bed share by choice. It's very natural across most of the world. There is a multi-billion-dollar sleep industry that is a big reason why we think that we have to have, you know, a separate nursery for every baby we have. And yeah, I just, since he was born, like, I followed my instinct to be close to him at all times. And yeah, it's co-sleeping is protective against SIDS when done safely. I follow the safe sleep 7, and yeah, I always feel a need to like justify this, even though nearly every parent I know does. Yeah, it's just, I think especially in America, it's quite a taboo subject. He latches onto my boob during the night, and I just kind of breastfeed on demand. It's called responsive feeding, and it's just worked out really, really well for us. That I've just not given up. I've had bad days where I've been like, oh God, fuck this, I can't do this anymore. I'm so drained. I'm so dehydrated. You know, I've got a sore back, my sore neck. Like, you know, I do have those days, but like overall, it's been a beautiful bonding experience with my little boy, and he loves it. And I'm so torn and conflicted, because like, I don't want to take that away from him and wean him ahead of the 2 years, even though I only planned to, like, I was like, if I can get to 1 year, I'll be so proud of myself. And at the beginning I was like, even if I do 6 months, I'll be so proud of myself. I kept pushing the goalposts back, kind of like what I do with not drinking alcohol. I'm always like, you know, if I can make it to this long, that helps me to stick at something, I suppose. But with this, I don't know if I should put him through the weaning process when, like, he'll very likely wean naturally himself at around a certain age. And like, or I could like start trying while I'm breastfeeding him, and then tandem feed, which is something that just blew my mind. Is a whole thing where mothers, you know, they have a newborn baby and a toddler, and they breastfeed both at the same time. Like, women are just women. I just don't know. I don't know what to do. Like, I could go out and punch the guy with the drill in the face. That's one thing I could do. I would love to get pregnant while still breastfeeding. I would just love my period to come back while I'm breastfeeding. That happens. It does happen. So I'm kind of just like willing the period to just... Early 2023. I would love to have a new baby by then. Another baby. By that point I would be like 33 and a half. I'm currently 32. And yeah, when you're 35 and up, you're considered geriatric when it comes to birth, which is just how dare. I will be having a baby after I'm 35, hopefully, fingers crossed, all going well. See, this is the thing, like, I know that I could always get pregnant and miscarry and stuff, so I'm trying to like add in time and consider time for that, because I'm very aware of how common it is. If you've not been around these parts for a while, if you've not read my first book, which was non-fiction, I had a miscarriage when I was 19. Unplanned baby. My mom had a miscarriage. My nana had like 5 miscarriages. 8 babies though. But yeah, people all around me, 4 years, have experienced it. I see it all the time online in the people that I follow. It's just something that happens. And it's horrible. I obviously don't want to go through that, but yeah, like, I have to think a lot about this, like, weaning thing, periods and pregnancy. Like, I have to think about these things. You know, I'm a big believer in manifestation, and as I explained in a video I put up recently about visualization and manifestation, is that actions play a huge role. And, you know, when your focus is on something, that will impact on your actions, etc., to place you into the position where that can become a reality. So yeah, I know that I have to give this thought, and I have to make my mind up on things and make decisions. Having baby number 2 is here. Happy breastfed toddler is here. I know he'll be fine if I wean him, But I also know I could get pregnant without weaning him.
Oh, what do I do?
What do I do? Tell me in the comments what you do.
Hi.
I love these space buns. I should wear space buns more often. I'm in a funny mood. I'm in a funny mood today. We got some good news about our whole moving into our own house that we're buying situation, and I'm really excited. But yeah, having no period is pretty great. I never take painkillers. I crave a lot less chocolate, and I rarely, if ever, want to scream at people. So yeah, that was just a little chat about that. If you enjoyed it, please give it a big thumbs up. Things will be a lot more consistent around here once we're settled in our own home. It's been really difficult to have consistency during this period of life where I've had no periods. With pregnancy and the baby and the pandemic, and I've been living in my in-laws' house. This is the house that I rent with my dad. My dad will be moving to our house with us as well. I'm building a little granddad flat attached, but we rent this house, and I just use this room to store stuff and to film the odd video, but this isn't where I actually live. And so yeah, I just feel like I need to grow some roots, and I need to like have a home so that my channel feels like a home when you visit it, and you know what you're expecting, you know what the background's going to be, you just feel anchored. I find that like the channels that I really enjoy, I feel anchored, and like right now and recently my content has just been like so, and I know that I know it has been, I know you've probably been feeling it, but please stick with me. It won't be forever. I want to make more of the kind of videos that you like, so leave suggestions, leave requests. I will see you again in another video very soon. Farewell from my jumper that has vibes of my next novel coming soon, from this sustainable cotton pinafore from Joanie, and say bye to the space buns, although I may never take them out. Bye.